Fatuma Bedhaso joins me now. She is an Oromo Rights Activist based in Minneapolis in the United States. Thanks so much for being with us. You are also a friend of Hatchalu. If you can, then I just want you to begin by telling us what his music and activism meant to you and his Oromo community.
Yes, he was a friend. Thank you for having me. Hatchalu Hundessa spoke really to the quintessentially Oromo experience in Ethiopia and spoke power, truth to power, and really exemplified the best of us. His music captures our collective aspirations, our collective pain, collective trauma, just weaved our aspirations with our intergenerational traumatic experiences within Ethiopia as Oromos and gave voice to a generation. So what Hatchalu represents is really this yearning for freedom, and he was able to really put what some of us only feel into words, and was able to mobilize the masses to really stand up for themselves and demand
Right.
for our rights.
And having lost his voice, you now fear what could happen in Ethiopia. Why?
Correct. Hatchalu, alongside other Oromo artists, really are the bridge between diaspora Oromo communities and the Oromo community at large. He was able to mobilize such a huge movement. With him gone, it just feels like we have that voice is no longer, and we fear that the repressions that are ongoing will not be heard on the scale that they were with Hatchalu being the voice of that.
Right. Well, what's confusing for outsiders is that many thought Abiy Ahmed would be a voice for marginalized Oromo people. What happened?
Correct. For most people were very hopeful with the transition that happened. It was a hopeful transition. It started out on a really positive note. They opened up the political space. Former political opposition were able to go back home. He freed journalists. He freed political prisoners. So the media landscape also freed up. The political landscape freed up. But somewhere between the first year and the euphoria, things started changing and the government started prioritizing really trivial things as opposed to really bringing in people and starting a national reconciliation, which a lot of people were hoping for, and started clamping down on dissent, started going after journalists, started arresting vocal opposition leaders. And
right.
Yeah, so.
Fadu, let me ask you this, a twofold question. Quickly, as an activist, did he know that he was a target, and what do you want to see happen now to bring justice to his case and justice to Ethiopia?
Well, we don't know if he knew that he was being targeted, but he did say in his recent interview that he gets daily threats. He did know that he had, daily death threats, obviously. And what we want is justice. We want an impartial investigation, because what's really taking place right now is that the Ethiopian populace, not just the Oromo people, have lost trust in government institutions because high-profile killings have been happening since this transition took place. And there hasn't really been any kind of accountability. There isn't really trust in the existing institutions to carry out justice. And also the government is using this opportunity to clamp down on opposition and has imprisoned really influential and opposition leaders like Jawar Mohammed, Begana Gerba. So what people are asking for right now is for Hatchalu to get justice for the perpetrators and people who are behind this killing to be brought to justice.
Okay.
And to also free the political prisoners who are imprisoned right now.
Fatuma Bedhaso, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for being with us. We greatly appreciate it.